Hello everybody, welcome back to the Dead Mall series, and welcome to part 3 of the St. Louis expedition. Welcome to Alton Square Mall in Alton, Illinois. This tiny 2-level mall, once anchoring the north end of the St. Louis metro for shopping, now largely sits empty, just as a shell of its former retail past. Now this mall currently sits with near 100% occupancy. And you may be thinking, what? If that's the case, how is this a dead mall? And the reason this mall is so dead and empty is this mall's solution to everything. Just wall it off or demolish it. And that's really just the whole kind of theme of this mall. Now when you're driving past it, you're going to realize how empty the parking lot is. And this is the upper level parking, and you're going to see later why the upper level is so empty. And right here is the old Sears, which is obviously closed. And this Sears was one of the strangest additions to the mall, added in the late 90s when this mall was already on a steep retail decline. The Sears was only open for about 10 years and then it quickly closed. And now it's been sitting vacant for quite some time. And coming around this side of the mall, this is pretty empty. The Sears and JCPenney, and even an old Sears Auto Center, which sits as an out parcel to the mall, also empty. In 1978, the 630,000 square foot mall opened in Alton, Illinois, with immediate anchors being JCPenney and Famous Bar. The mall, while having 2 levels, had a relatively small retail footprint and drew a lot of its traffic from nearby Jamestown Mall and a lot of the Alton traffic from the city. The Sears Company, already struggling in the late 90s, opened their store at this mall in 1997. However, it never did well and closed in 2012. And for a short time after, it was turned into a wholesale furniture store, but then later closed. And you'll see a few pictures of that when we get inside the mall. But coming around near the JCPenney and Ross, these are the two current anchors of the mall. And this is where a lot of the traffic is focused. And when you head inside, you'll see just how insane this mall is. So if I were to give this mall an entirety, like a theme, I would probably give it the Master of Cover-Ups. Because when you walk in, you realize how empty it is. First of all, there's so many walls. On the left here would have been a huge, like a long line of stores, the B. Dalton bookseller, arcades, restaurants, all the like. And they're on the left there, behind those walls, somewhere back there. It'd be cool to see them, what they look like nowadays. Probably through that door right there on the left side. But yeah, this is going down towards the Macy's / Famous Bar store, where it would have once stood. And it closed in 2017 after it was doing extremely poorly. And the mall management, they immediately demolished it, as they saw it as too big of a hassle to kind of find a tenant for it, so they just decided to demolish it. And that's something this mall does a lot, is they wall something off or they demolish it if they can't find a solution immediately after. And yeah, it's just crazy to think what would be here, seeing all the old Macy's entrance pictures compared to today, where it's kind of just been turned into some sort of interior-exterior entrance, which is pretty sad. Imagining what would have once been here. So Famous Bar changed their name into Macy's in 2006, and their store was absolutely gigantic. 2 levels. It was the largest anchor at the mall. And then it was demolished in 2017, and it's really sad because I would have loved to see it in its empty state. But yeah, this whole area is just very empty. There's no people obviously over here. It's just walls, no stores or anything. It's kind of like bizarre and really strange. And it's really interesting, the story of how this mall came to be the way it is today. So back then, the first and second level had a lot of vacancies, and management told the second level stores to relocate to the first floor, and then they just walled off the entire second level. I guess it's kind of effective in making it look less dead, but yeah, management just doesn't want anyone to think the situation is as bad as it is. But when you get upstairs, you really see how bizarre it all is. So coming down towards the JCPenney and Sears end of the mall, you see a public library in the mall, which is really strange. You don't quite often see that. So yeah, it's weird, but this JCPenney still has its old 70s kind of mirrored glass finish, which is really beautiful. And it's kind of unfortunate that the tiles and the kind of brick flooring of the past has been changed into this boring carpet, because a lot of this is really beautiful and it would have been even better to see it way back then. But yeah, so here's more walls. I feel like that is the theme of this mall. That's all it's about, is the walls. The wall mall. But yeah, looking at old pictures, this is just so beautiful, seeing it the way it is back in the day, and looking up into it, taking it all in. It's just like you're looking up at a bunch of pillars and walkways. It's really weird. Everything's just kind of crisscrossed. Looks like a giant spider web with all the kind of stuff. And then here's the old Sears entrance with a wall in front of it. Go figure. And yeah, going upstairs, you see just how bad the situation gets. There's one store open there, so there is one store other than the JCPenney on the second level, so there's something. But yeah, once I turn around, you really see how bad it is. So this right here is where the old food court would have been, with several eateries, other stores, tables, chairs, plants, and all that. Once all the food places closed, they kind of just took everything out, walled it all off, and just kind of forgot about it, which is really sad, because when I went here, I never even knew it was an old food court until after, when I was looking up pictures. And here's the JCPenney from the second level. But yeah, it was so sad just seeing that everything up here was just sort of forgotten about and walled off. And it's almost kind of eerie just seeing this all the way it is today, and imagining back then the entire upper floor just being lined with dozens of stores, shops, eateries, everything, and imagining what it would have been like back in the day compared to the empty shell it is today. So for today's daily advertisement, and being on the second level, I decided that we would take a look at one of this mall's many second level treasures back in the day, Radio Shack, when everyone apparently carried around briefcases that were quote unquote cellular phones. So yeah, let's take a look at what Radio Shack has to offer today.
Finding a phone in a car isn't that unusual anymore, except when it leaves the car for greener pastures, the high seas, or a leisurely lunch. Radio Shack keeps you in constant communication with their affordable, transportable cellular telephone.
Hello? Oh, yes, he's right here. It's for you.
Yes, I heard about the merger. Buy 100 shares.
The affordable, transportable cellular telephone, only at Radio Shack.
So, while I know you're all busy carrying around your briefcase-sized cellular telephones, try to take a break and see the old second-level Macy's entrance with me. I mean, just look at all the walled-off stores here. They might as well just turn this upper level into a jogging track, because that's all it's good for nowadays. And that's why there's like little to no cars in the upper level parking lot you saw at the beginning. Because what's the point of parking up there when all the stores are downstairs? So yeah, heading down the escalator here, that concludes today's episode of the Den Mall series. And in a quick second, I take a look at the old JCPenney entrance, and it's kind of gross looking at the rusted kind of, looks like the siding has been peeled off and there's like rust underneath. But yeah, there you can see the old Macy's compared to today, where that sort of end cap right there is where the Macy's would have been. But yeah, that concludes today's episode of the Den Mall series. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Next week we'll be taking a look at the Chesterfield Mall, and I might be taking a little extra longer to make and produce that episode because I want it to be really good and really long, because I have a lot of clips of when I was there. So yeah, that'll be more of a special, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy that episode. But hopefully you enjoyed today's episode, and I'll see you next week, hopefully next week. But yeah, until I see you then, have a lovely day, and peace out, guys. See you later.
Turning holy water into